All right. We are back in Belmar. We have a very special guest. He is a client. He is a cool guy. He's very funny. He keeps you entertained every time he calls. We have Nick from Get Wet Power Washing. How are you today, brother?
Fantastic.
This is the second time on.
Yes, sir.
I don't even know how that happened, but here we are.
How did that happen? I just annoyed you enough. So
In the past week, 3 different people who were early birds on the podcast have all reached out to me and said, we should probably do a second podcast. We had Abdel on, and he was a second podcast, and he was the first one to actually get recorded twice, and he was on one of those real estate forums. So he's been on this podcast 3 times, so he's over-indexed compared to everybody else. But you're a second-time guest. Thanks for coming in today.
Not a problem. Thanks for having me.
I see that you have a new shirt and some new branding going on.
Yes. Last time I was here, we discussed the men's shirts.
Yes.
So I figured today I'd wear one. So
Okay.
That way, everybody can
All right,
see
what does it say?
Should I stand
Yeah,
up?
stand up. Stand up.
All right. So it says, want to get wet. They're for men. And then we just came out with a woman's shirt
Okay.
that says, I got wet at Get Wet Power Washing.
Very nice.
Our logo on the back, just like on the men's. And what's on this?
We got the American
and
flag.
the American flag.
Awesome. They're nice. I like them. I'm glad that. How are the pre-sales of those going?
Fairly well.
All right.
I just put them up yesterday, and we've gotten 10 so far.
All right, cool.
So we're doing all right.
Fantastic.
We're doing
Yeah,
all right.
people like them. How's the season been?
The season has been very, very good to me and my team. I will say that. It every season starts off a little slow, and then naturally, and then it picks up. And the week of Memorial Day, I call it Hell Week. And then
Everybody's got to get ready for the barbecue, for the parties.
Because apparently they don't put Memorial Day, 4th of July, and Labor Day on the schedule until on the calendar until 3 days before it.
Yeah.
Because that's when everybody calls and it's like, oh my God, I forgot to get it done.
But in the world we live in now, I believe that people plan less. Everything's last minute. Even I run some events which from networking. It's the last week that all the people say they're coming, and it's you could plan, know that you're going to come, but it's down to the last minute. People are on last minute mentality. So people are last minute in a bar.
6 Ps. You know what they are?
Rattle them off.
Proper planning prevents piss poor performance.
JT Hazlett from Hazlett Realty Group, he loves that line. Mm-hmm. So I'm glad that
if you do that properly, then you don't have anything to worry about. So one of the things I started doing this year, and we're really going to ramp it up through the fall and the winter, is we're going to do contracts.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Makes sense.
And for all the previous customers and all the new customers, you're going to have your initial cost for us to come in and do our initial deep cleaning. And then after that, obviously it'll be a little less.
It's going to be like a maintenance plan.
Yes, it's exactly what it's going to be. And it's going to be a 3-year plan. You sign up for it. Then you don't have to worry.
Yeah.
So if we wash your house on May 12th of this year,
mm-hmm.
May 12th of next year, we're going to be there, or the week of. You know what I mean?
Yep, so that's great.
That way the customers don't have to worry. Oh, I got to call Nick. I got to do this. I got to do that. It's one less thing for somebody to have to worry about.
Perfect. Also, now if they're having a special party, like a graduation or a backyard wedding or something like that, will you come out and do a additional clean me up, get me ready? After you get a haircut, that you might go back in a week or two just to get get the back cleaned up.
Absolutely,
you'll do the same.
I have a lady we're going to be doing the week of July 4th.
Mm-hmm.
She called. I went out, and as I talked earlier on the other podcast, I get to know my customer. I want to know why you're calling.
Yeah.
What's the purpose? What is the?
I would think if I remember correctly, you like to know their love language.
Yeah. So I'm speaking with the customer, and she ends up telling me, she's having a party for her mother. She's going to be 93, I think it was. And then
That's
she
an
has
accomplishment.
6 children that live all over the country.
Mm-hmm.
So they're all going to be here that week. So the purpose of us getting it done is for that party.
Mm-hmm.
Now, she then in turn said, if you have a maintenance plan, I would like to sign up for it. Perfect. No problem. Got her on that. she has nothing to worry about for this year plus the next 3 years.
That's great. So that's awesome. But I think that
So
the
that
more
means I'll be
people,
in business for at least another 4 years, everybody.
there you go. But that also means that people, like, it's one less responsibility they have to do. They have to think about one less thing because you're on the case. And as long as you keep a good plan, a planner, and good tracking of when things need to get done, then life is good. Also, it also calendarizes things for you in the future, which helps build your business and helps you have to think about one less thing. Like, what are we doing today? You know, X amount of customers are going to be on the plan next year. So when you turn on the lights on January 1st, you know, all right, well, we have the first 80 customers on the board.
That's something I was thinking about too, with you saying that. With growth comes challenges. With growth comes adversity. With growth comes learning. With growth comes
Everything.
being better.
Yeah.
So one of the things I've already started planning, you know, I'm a vision board kind of guy.
Yeah, sure.
So
I could see that.
yeah, you know, goals, all that stuff. Write them down.
Do you look in the mirror every morning and go, this is what you want?
My mirror looks at me, Tom.
All right, good. Perfect.
So
we'll go back to
what
what
I
you
was
were
saying
saying.
was I part of the growth thing was I want to get another truck because I have 2 flatbeds.
Mm-hmm.
One of the flatbeds isn't being occupied; it just tows the trailer. So the other flatbed, I think I'm going to build a whole nother setup on, so that way that truck can be dedicated just to doing the maintenance aspect.
The current,
Yes.
the repeat
So
customers.
then I'd have to obviously get another truck, but that's not a problem. And then so then I would have 3 full-time crews that go out instead of only 2 that I have now.
Yep.
So
That's great. Now, so as you're growing and as you're planning and as things are blossoming for you and progressing, what do you think about for the off season? Is there something you want to get yourself involved in, or do you like having the off season off?
I enjoy the downtime.
Mm-hmm.
However, we plow,
Okay.
we salt, we do.
Oh, so you do
things.
that, yeah.
We do have work that will come in.
Mm-hmm. Perfect.
However, I enjoy the downtime. That gets everything winterized, gets everything fixed, gets everything inventoried, figured out what we need for next year.
Sure.
We start pre-ordering because, again, proper planning. So
Prevents.
if we're there, and
Mm-hmm.
when I say, okay, guys, here's your key for the season.
We're ready.
For the trucks. Let's go to work.
Perfect.
I don't have to get a phone call the first day out. Oh, hey, I blew a hose.
Yep.
You know, I mean, I get them throughout the season.
Yeah, it
but
makes totally.
I don't need them the first day.
And so now I love this. I love this maintenance plan because, again, also I think that builds value for the day that you decide, hey, I want to sell the company.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you have recurring customers, and again, that brings assets. That brings value into your company.
Absolutely.
So I think that that's a great way to start thinking about going. And I don't know that all the power washing companies are offering that service.
Well, they're gonna after they hear this.
Yeah, but I mean,
You know
when
what? I'm a trendsetter.
you are, but think about the home service space, like, you know, the HVAC guys. A lot of them have maintenance programs in place. The pool guys have maintenance. So I think it's, you know, it makes perfect sense that you're going that route, and I think that that'll help bring more long-term value to your company.
Absolutely. I mean, we used to be based out of Forked River and dealing with that whole, I guess it would be the middle part of Ocean County.
Mm-hmm.
We have now branched off, and we are now putting a lot of effort into Atlantic County.
Atlantic County, all right.
So we're still servicing all of Ocean,
Mm-hmm.
which will never ever change.
That's your area.
That's our main bread and butter.
Mm-hmm.
But we're also branching out into Atlantic County. As I said before, we do wash in the whole state. I was just in Ocean City the other day,
Mm-hmm.
looking at a couple jobs.
What county is that? Cape May, or is that Atlantic?
It's either the bottom of Atlantic or the top of Cape May.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of
Good
them.
trivia question.
Yeah.
We can, when we launch this, whoever the first guest is to, put that in the comments. Nick will give you $50 off your power wash.
All right, so Tom's giving away my money. I was going to give you away a shirt if you were a female, got it right, or if you were a man, I give you.
All right, the shirt.
But instead, since Tom wants to give away my money, that's fine. I'll just give.
I just thought that would be a nice way to reward someone that listened to the podcast and wants to use your services.
There you go. So you know what? We'll do both. How about that?
Perfect. All right. So after you win, then you could put in your shirt size, and Nick will get a shirt out to you.
Absolutely. Thanks, Tom. You and You got nothing but the best ideas.
Listen, it's one more person wearing your brand. Let's go. So, all right. So I don't know what I would say. I think it's Cape May. I'm going to go with, but
We'll go with that.
So you're really going a little bit further down now. What do you think about the competition? Is there a lot more guys down in that area? Less guys, or?
I've done some research. As you know, when you open up any business, or as you should do, you want to find a targeted area. You want to find out what the median household income is. You want to find out what the age demographic is of the people in that area, because that's going to determine, one, your pricing. It's also going to determine your potential clientele.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I've done some things in Millville through Devin. That was on your podcast.
Yep, Devin Riley.
And
shout out to Devin Riley today.
He also, I didn't know this, but Millville's part of Cumberland County.
Mm-hmm.
Cumberland County is one of the poorest counties in the state of New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, will I go there? Yeah. Is it going to be something I invest money into going in there and doing all that? No, because it doesn't benefit me. Let those guys that are there handle that area. They can have all of it.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go someplace where my premium service and premium value can be given to a premium customer.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
So, and that's why we do Ocean City, Avalon, Stone Harbor, LBI, Lavalette, Seaside Park, Ortley, you name it. We love doing the island.
Yeah.
We are the Jersey Shore's preferred power washer. So there's a reason for that, because we travel the whole coast. We have no issue with that.
Perfect. So now, how long have you been doing this Atlantic County work now?
We started that back in April.
Okay.
Like the first week in April, we decided we're going to start down there, because I live in Tuckerton. So Tuckerton is Ocean County, but if you skip 3 times, you're going to be in Atlantic County. So
you're right. That's right where the border is.
Pretty much right where the border is. So I was like, you know what? If I'm here,
might as well.
I might as well do it.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
And it's gone well so far.
Okay.
It's gone fairly well. We're doing a lot in Tuckerton, Little Lake Harbor, Mystic Islands, New Gretna.
Is New Gretna Ocean County?
No, New Gretna's Atlantic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we've been fortunate enough to do a lot down there.
Mm-hmm. All right, and you're gonna just keep going.
That's the goal.
Now, with you've done a lot of stuff. You've started to get involved with some networking and some a chamber of commerce, and you've done some stuff. I'd love to hear about that, because that the last time we were starting to kind of talk about that, but and I think that kind of plays into this referral marketing that you kind of got yourself involved in.
The Toms River Chamber of Commerce, great organization. I sponsored one of their events. Well, I was one of the co-sponsors of their events. It was me, Jay Money Mortgage. Shout out to Jay. Love Jay.
Shout out to Jay
and
from Absolute Mortgage.
And also Fades and Finesse Barbershop in Bayville.
Is that where you got your hair cut?
Yes, it is. Jay cut my hair.
Really?
Yes, it is.
Look at that.
That's
a nice job.
I forget the third part, the third sponsor, but it was a great event. It was the first one we sponsored. We had a great time, great turnout, and I really liked there was a quote I heard, and it made sense. And being an entrepreneur and dealing with other entrepreneurs, I think it goes hand in hand, which is a tree doesn't hang out with the grass, even though that's where it started. Do you get it?
Explain it.
All right. So the tree starts in the ground, right where the grass is. But then the tree grows and the tree evolves, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And as it grows, it starts to change its color, its size. So as an entrepreneur, your environment changes. So you need to I now go to these networking events.
You change with it.
Yes. So I now go to these networking events and I hang out with people who make more money than me, who are more successful than me, who are better salesmen than me. And
is that a thing?
Surprisingly, yeah. So, but I love that.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that. Why do I love that? Because
You're learning.
I can hang out with the grass and be the big fish in a little pond, or I can keep growing and always be a little fish in a big pond.
Yep. And you learn.
You know?
You learn while you're doing it, and you keep going.
So the Tom's River's great. I go to K Chef's events. They're awesome. He does a great job.
Shout out
Awesome
to
guy.
K Chef.
He's done from where he started to where he is today. The kid's crushing it, and he's fantastic.
I think this event this next event is his 24th event.
I think you're right.
That's crazy.
You're right. That's unbelievable.
I started meeting up and going from event 4, so I've been going to.
You've been going to a lot.
Gone to a lot of events.
So doing that is awesome, but also like just going out and putting myself out there. Like, I just did a huge paver job for a guy. Not laying the pavers, sanding them, cleaning the tops, taking out all the sand and putting in all the new sand again. And that guy, he owns One of a Kind Landscaping. His name's Bruce Holiday. They're based out of Forked River. They're one of the bigger ones next to Cerami in Ocean County. And I've known him for a long time. Working with him has made me understand the bigger picture. And because
That's great to see.
Because you build a referral base off of everyone, whether they're homeowners, whether they're business owners, whether they're corporate, whatever it is, you're going to build a network within that. When other businesses look at your business and can value your business, maybe not as much as you do, but close to it, that they entrust you with their customers. Now, their customers could be, Sandy, who works at Wawa, or they could be Mary, who's the CEO of Wawa, Either way, they entrust you with them, that you're going to provide a quality service for them. That, to me, is the ultimate compliment.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Because you own Wingman Planning.
I do.
I sent Devin to you. I sent Justin to you. Why? Because you value your business as number one. No offense, Tom, I don't. It's not my business. But I value the people that I deal with, to know that you're going to handle them the way that I would handle them. You know what I mean? So
that's what it's all about, and that's why building those long-term strong relationships is key. Because again, that if you send them to me, or you send them to Jay, or you send them to Anthony or K-Chev or whoever, that they're going to do the right thing.
That's what's important. Is I feel like
we can only trade under our name.
Not only that, I feel like people's attention spans have been shrunk down for like 30, 45 seconds.
Yeah.
Thanks TikTok, right?
Thanks TikTok.
So people don't. I believe people don't hold as much value in relationships anymore.
No.
Because like I said, our attention span is so short that people are like, it's all right, who cares?
Yeah.
I didn't do right by this guy, who cares?
Next. There's always the next guy.
Yeah, exactly. But I did commercial property. I did 4 industrial buildings. I met the lady through. I got a phone call 4 years ago. Hey, can you watch a rental property for me? Sure, no problem. Went out, did a fantastic job. Next year, I get a phone call from her. Hey, can you do another rental property for me? Sure, no problem. Go out, do it. Third year, she calls me. Hey, you've done a great job. Can you come watch my house? Perfect.
Sure.
No problem. So she calls me again this year. Hey, Nick.
It's me again.
Can you meet me at the boatyard? I'm like, well, we live in Lacey, so there's a bunch of them. Long story short, her family ended up owning a building company in Bayville, and there's a road called Hickory Road in Bayville, and I know the people who own the first 2 buildings, Danny from Tri-State and Christy from Precision Gymnastics, but then there's a bunch of industrial buildings down the left and the right side of the road. I didn't know this. They own every single one of those buildings, and we went and we watched every single one of those buildings.
Awesome.
Now, if I could have thought, oh, it's just a rental property, whatever. I'll just go bang it out. No big deal. She's never going to call me again. No, but because I took the time, I invested in her, I invested in making sure she was happy, it has now turned into
a big account.
Yes.
And you know what though? If you treat everybody fairly and you take care of everybody and you take care of them with, they're gonna continue to refer you.
There's this thing called the life of your customer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the phrase I never understood, never really got it. When I was younger, and when me and my brother first did this, I never really understood it. And then as I grew and get wet, I fully understand it now. And you'd be surprised the life of your customer and the value that they bring to you.
There's a lot of times when people hire Wingman from a consulting standpoint, not just like from building a website or making a brochure, but there are companies that hire us to help them grow their business. And one of the first questions the first couple questions I ask when myself and Dave or go into those meetings is, what's your lifetime value of the customer? How long does the average customer last? And what's your cost per acquisition? Once you know those three questions, it becomes a math formula of how to grow the business. It's very different than just just slap ads on Facebook or run a PPC campaign. Once you start to understand that lifetime value of that customer, I think the game changes because again, and in your world, again, when you look at like the HVAC companies, they know equipment lasts 10 to 15 years. In my world, websites change every 2 to 3 years. In your world, they need you every year.
Sometimes.
And sometimes they need you twice.
Every 2 years. Sometimes they need us twice a year. Sometimes they need us once a year. Sometimes they need us once every 2 years. Once every 2 is the average.
But you look at houses on the water. You look at houses in the woods. Again, I live in the woods. We have trees everywhere. And again, my wife loves living where we live. So we're not moving. But I know that in my head, I have to think about that I'm going to need more maintenance on my house than the guy who lives in in a development in Monmouth or Ocean County in the middle of the street. Like, we don't live there. So those are kind of things that, but the people that live on the water, they value that. But the ocean air and the salt.
Ocean air, the salt air, the dirt that comes on the tops by your soffits, the salt that destroys the outside of your windows. So you're gonna need us to wash your windows.
So
there's always, buy a house. It's fun, they said.
Yeah.
Right? So it's...
But I think once you start to understand that and what those pieces of the puzzle are, I think it helps you to start refining your business model, to start thinking about what it is you need to do to that extra truck and that maintenance truck. What other upsides are there for you to go around and help customers do that they need done that helps grow your business on the other side of it?
It's true. Like when you think about it, like when you have a customer, right? Sorry, I play with things a lot. When you have,
I would expect nothing less.
Thank you. It's the ADD.
Yeah.
When you have a customer, right, and like I said, you never know who they know, what they know, and how often they're going to want to be done. So I like to treat every customer, whether it's our first time there, or our third time there, sixth time, whatever it is, as the first time we were there. I mean,
you're only as good as yesterday's sale.
And a good broom only sweeps good once, right? Isn't there? A new broom only sweeps good once. Isn't that how it goes?
So I mean, I like the way that you think about that, though. If you go into every sale, if you go into every job, is it's the first time you're there and you treat that customer with that respect, I think that's what it's all about. Again, I think we live in a world where everybody's trying to do everything quicker, cheaper, and doesn't care about that long-term relationship. But I value that long-term relationship because, again, that's where those referrals come from. That affiliate network of people that want to do right by you.
That also speaks to your team, too. You know what I mean? Because, like, I deal with Maddie. Maddie's amazing. Fantastic.
Shout out to Maddie this morning.
No complaints, right?
All right.
So you take that and then look at my guys. This is the first season I've ever had 2 full-time guys.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And if you go on our Facebook and you read our reviews,
mm-hmm.
they did a fantastic job. They're nice. They're polite. The service was excellent. Very easy to communicate with,
mm-hmm.
yada, yada, yada. Standards. That's where that comes back to. Now, as you know, I'm friends with other guys in the industry. My guys know if you show up at 7:05, you're fired.
It's fair.
I don't care if you've been with me 6 months, 2 months, a week, or the next day. You're fired. Now people listen to this, and the other owners that I know, you're too harsh. No, I'm not.
You're holding them to a standard.
You're in the car at 6:50, and you see traffic, or you anticipate traffic because you left a little later, or whatever it was, because you didn't plan accordingly. Call me. Hey, I'm going to be 10, 15 minutes late. Okay.
No problem.
But when it's 7:05,
and there's no
call, there's no text, there's no nothing, that means you don't value my time, your time, or our customer's time. Granted, they get a 2-hour arrival window. That doesn't mean show up at the end of the arrival window.
No. I applaud you for holding people to a standard. I mean,
I hold my people accountable, so that way they have to hold themselves accountable, which means when our customers hold us accountable, there's no adversity.
I love it. I can't say enough good things about that.
And I don't think there's enough of that, personally.
I would agree with you. I think that in this day and age, it's different, and I think that that's great that you're holding them to a standard. And again, as you grow, those guys need to let their other coworkers know that that's the way it is.
Not only that, if one guy sees one guy, maybe everybody has a bad day. I get it. Maybe that guy's slacking off a little bit today. Well, the other guy's gonna be like, yo, pull your weight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he's gonna feel confident in that, and telling him that, because he's being as personally excellent as he can and holding that standard.
I love it.
That's what you get when you hire. I always tell people, when you hire us, you get an experience. We're just not some guy who shows up. Oh, hi, Mrs. Jones. It's going to be $500 to wash your house. See you on Tuesday. Bye.
Yep.
Oh, Mrs. Jones, you're not here. I'm just going to text you. Here's your invoice. Pay me.
Yep.
I'm going to know everything there is to know about Mrs. Jones. My guys, when they go out, they get a copy of the invoice with notes on it.
Yeah.
Mrs. Jones has a 6-month-old Labrador Retriever. When you leave, please make sure double, triple check all the gates are closed.
Yep.
Mrs. Jones has a Japanese maple in the front. Please wet the ever-loving shit out of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like all those things, so that way they know what they're walking into. That way the customer. So now I told them. Not only did I tell my guys, it's written for them, and all my guys know how to read.
Mm-hmm.
So they read it. Now, if Mrs. Jones calls me and goes, "Hey, my maple died," guess what? That's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can show Mrs. Jones, not only did I tell them, I can show them the notes on the paperwork that they got. Not only that, now my guys have a problem because you didn't follow directions.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what that means? You get 2 strikes with me, then you're out.
Yep.
Unless you're late. If you're late, that's it. That's
late,
my biggest
late is a
thing.
first strike, and everything else you get 2 strikes.
What time did I get here today?
You were probably here 25 minutes early.
Okay.
But I did tell you last night I was running from an appointment at 8 that I wasn't going to be here before about 5 minutes to 9, which I pulled up about 7 minutes to 9.
Just because you're going to be here at 7 minutes to 9 doesn't mean I should be here at 7 minutes.
It's fair. What time did you arrive? 8:40?
8:40.
I knew it. I knew, even though I told you, I knew you were going to do it. I even told Andrew.
That's how I work.
I even told Andrew. I said Nick's going to be early. He's like, "Yep, you're probably."
That's how I work, because I respect my time enough to respect your time enough.
I appreciate that.
Let's say something happened and you got here early.
Yeah.
Right? You're
Could've
like,
kicked it off.
Nick's here. We could start early.
Yeah.
Now I just gave you an extra 20 minutes in your day where you were like, you know what? I don't think I'm gonna have time to. I don't think I'm gonna have time to go. Get my haircut today. Well, now you have time to go get your haircut. I'm not saying you need a haircut.
Shout out to Jay.
Yeah. But
I love that you value people's time. I love that. I really applaud the way that you are holding your guys to a standard. I think that that's great. I think that more companies need to do that. You see less people wearing sweats at their jobs and things like that. I think it comes down to a training issue. I think a lot of times business owners are not putting in the training and putting in the procedures and policies that they need to take that business to the next level.
I think people are so worried, other business owners, I think people are so worried about finding a employee.
Yep.
Where I believe the bar for employees has been lowered so much as far as a standard goes, where if you show up, that's like the main requirement.
Yep.
if you don't even have to like smile and be personable. You just have to.
Which
if
is
you
just so
can
sad.
physically get them to show up every
That's a win.
single day, that's a valued employee. No, that's a given.
I know.
You know what I mean?
I wish more people thought like you. I try to hold. I try to make sure that we have happy people working at Wingman because again, it shows. To me, it shows. Like when I go into a place, there's places that I'll never go back to because you get treated like you're doing them a favor.
What is now? I don't know about you, but my company has a mission statement and a plan, which is customer service is number one, above all else. It does. I pay my guys by the hour. I don't care if it takes you 10 hours, 4 hours, or 20 minutes. You do not leave that house until they are happy. You knock on the door when you get there. You walk around the property with them. You review the estimate with them, make sure we're all on the same page. They go inside. My guys go to work. They come out. Then they go, Mrs. Jones, please walk it with me. Make sure you see everything.
I love it.
Now, let's say, we're not perfect. Hey, do you think you could hit that soffit over there a little bit? I didn't really like the way it came out. We explained to them, maybe we have done it twice. We explained, Mrs. Jones, we've already hit it twice. If you could stand back a little bit so that way nothing gets on you, we're going to physically show you that we've already done it. We show them, boom, sometimes it doesn't come out. But Mrs. Jones now knows that it's a stain that
tried
doesn't
it,
come out.
You've tried it 3 times now.
So there is times you run into things like that. However, that comes from proper training. That comes from standards. That comes from Mrs. Jones is going to go, this is the service I got. And then, she's going to be happy. Her friends are going to be happy, so on and so forth. Because our customers are also our salesmen.
Oh,
believe
absolutely.
It or not.
Absolutely.
Same thing for you.
Absolutely.
So,
we get a ton of business through referrals. In addition to guys like yourself who are always referring, we've built a whole business on referrals, and I think that that's the way of the world because again, at least people know what they're getting into. Like if if one of your customers refers you and they explain that whole process, Nick's guys got there, they walked me around the house, they did this, they did that. What that's going to do? That's going to make that next customer ready to do business with you by the time you show up.
I just want to show you something real quick. So, as you know, I'm a big analytics person. How much comes in, how much goes out, yada, yada, yada. So, this is the most we've ever had in any year. All year, this year, 18% of our lead sources are current repeat customers. Another 18% of that is referral.
That's awesome.
So that's 36%. Okay, 53% of our new customers off of Facebook. Think about that.
That's awesome.
That means almost as many new customers are current and referral customers.
Keep
That's
going.
fantastic.
Keep pushing that.
That's,
But and as you do more jobs, if you could hold those same numbers, it's only going to increase the overall size of the business. Because again, if 36% of 100 is 36, but 36% of 200 is now 72, 36% of 500 is now I don't know what it is, but it's
a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's a lot. We'll go with that's a lot.
It's a lot. Let's get a quick calculation here.
But that's the truth, man. That's what it all boils down to.
It's 180.
Perfect.
So you went from 36 to 180 because as you bring in that number of Facebook and other lead sources and they're happy, now that is going to turn into, and that's going to put third, fourth, and fifth truck on the road.
That's the goal. The goal isn't to watch every house in New Jersey. I know some people think that that has to be.
Yeah.
Our goal is customer satisfaction and doing the job right the first time.
I love it.
That's it. That's our
it.
mission statement.
So now let people know where to find you because this was a great conversation. I love when we get into conversations of customer service and treating the customer right because, again, I think we live in a world that's changed and people do, business owners don't focus on that due to some hiring, due to other issues. So I love that you
can look at your business from a 3,000-foot view, okay? And you can see what needs to be done and, how you can move this part, this here, adjust that there, da 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 da. There's also comes points where you can have a 3,000-foot view from working in your business, okay, and physically doing it. You have to find the happy medium. So what I mean by that is I don't really work anymore, which is I've worked to be able to do that. However, I worked 3 days last week because one of the guys called out. I have no issue doing it. And it gave me, it gave me, when I'm out there for 10, 12, 15 hours a day and I'm staring at a wall, watching it, you think a lot. So now I'm able to think about being in the business because I'm in it.
Yep.
What can I do differently? Oh, I noticed, the guy, my guy's doing it this way, but maybe if I bought this, that would maybe speed this up. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And then when he comes back, now I'm back to looking at it this way, and I can see it and implement it, and then watch how what I changed works better for the team.
I love it. I think you got a great thing going on.
But to answer your question, you can find me at a beautiful website that was made by Wingman Planning at getwetpowerwashingnj.com. You can fill out a quote request form there. You can read up about this handsome gentleman. You can read up about our company. You can find us on Facebook at Get Wet Power Washing. You can call me at 732-996-5002.
It's weird that you had to kind of think about your phone number there.
Well, I have two phones, so I notice when I call customers sometimes. Every customer, this is another thing about us. When you come in, you call the office. When we send you our estimate, it gets sent to you via email. It gets sent to you via text. Then you get a follow-up text
to confirm
that you got it. Okay. However, when that text comes through, it doesn't come through the work line. It comes in through my cell phone number.
So that if they have any questions, they can call.
If they have any questions, problems, concerns, anything, they can call me directly, and they don't have to worry about the office. They don't have to worry about, oh, he's closed, it's after 5.
Yep.
If you call my cell phone,
you're picking it up.
I will answer it. I will return your text, and I feel like it gives my customers more of a personal feeling. Like I'll never do like an answering service. Yep. I'll never do somebody who sits behind because I can train them. I could be the best trainer in the world. Tom, you could train somebody the best you can. Nobody is you.
Hey, great. And that's that balance between growth and scale, and
I have no issue with hiring more people to do the work.
Yep.
Yada yada yada. However, when it comes to answering the phone, I'm the first. You call me. You call our company, right? That is my opportunity to make the best first impression I can.
I love it.
And I can't, and I won't entrust somebody with my baby to make
understandable
a better
first impression
than me. I can't.
I tell you, if you sent the calls to my line, I could probably do it for you. I could probably make them have a great first impression.
We're gonna go with yes, but it's still not gonna be me.
All right, but maybe one day, like if you want to take a day off, send it to me, and we'll see how I do.
I do. I take a bunch of days off. They happen from December to February.
I love it. Nice. Well, I'm glad you came on today. I'm glad to hear.
Thanks for having me back.
I am glad to hear all the great things that you're doing, and keep doing it.
Thank you.
Awesome. Have a good one, bud.